feel the power of the dark.
Hey guys, I hope you're hungry. Welcome back to War Stories here on the Full Instance channel. My name is Jericho, and today I am joined by Science Sentry and Iceman to review Suicide Squad. So right off the bat, what'd you guys think?
Awesome.
Awesome.
It totally exceeded my expectations. I also say awesome.
Yeah, it was. I was expecting to kind of like it, if not fairly well like it, but I really loved it. It was great.
I think it's easily the new high water mark for the DC. I liked it much better than Man of Steel, and certainly more than Batman vs Superman.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Absolutely, me too. I mean, it's definitely the best of the DC movies thus far, which isn't super hard to do. But I think even if the previous two had been really good, this one still would have topped it because I loved it that much.
Right.
And to be clear, we're not including the Christopher Nolan Batman.
Right. Only the DCEU, as they call it, because they're silly.
So one thing that really stood out to me that I tend to look for in a movie was the color scheme. It was so cool that, like, you'll see all the posters and everything. It has, you know, the regular, like, the new gritty look of, like, dark grays and browns and blacks and whites and, you know, just the monotone. But then it also has the really bright pops of like that fuchsia and the bright green.
So like the garish neon kind of.
Yeah, that electric blue, and that was prevalent throughout the whole movie. Like everywhere you would see at least one of those colors. So that was really cool for me. Watch out for that.
One thing I was pleasantly surprised with is they spent a good amount of time with most of the characters. Even though it's introducing a lot of characters all at once, they each kind of got a little bit of room to breathe, with the exception of one that we'll talk about more later on. Mm-hmm. But mostly everybody got their own little brief origin story. But they didn't agonize over it. You know, it was just a decent amount of time. And then, and like I said, besides the one, everybody got a little bit of character work throughout.
You're talking about the one that I was upset about?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess Captain Boomerang was mostly just comic relief too. We didn't really learn about his motivations or his personality or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like Diablo, Deadshot, Harley, Katana, all of them, you know, we learn more about who they are as people and how they ended up where they were, and that sort of thing.
I feel like Katana was pretty much stereotypical, like basically, if you think of any, like, samurai character, that was her, period. Except for her actual sword.
And being a girl.
Angry and real Asian.
Yeah.
And being a girl.
That's how I would describe her.
Well, yeah, and being a girl is different, I guess, but...
And a girl.
Yeah, but, like, she just didn't have any characterization beyond, like, the classic samurai warrior thing. Which I was kind of sad. I was hoping for more than that. But I mean, she didn't seem to speak a lot of English, so I guess that was their excuse for not getting any. Instead of, they could have done some flashbacks with subtitles or something.
Yeah. So I liked Jared Leto's Joker a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I will mention in a war story that y'all haven't seen yet, about that I'm open to other characterizations of the Joker, and so I knew I would be okay with it, but I really, really loved it.
Yeah.
It's very different from anything we've seen before, and in a positive way, and it wasn't just different for the sake of being different.
I feel like he was pretty close to Mark Hamill's Joker, just darker and more modern.
It really was, and a lot of the visuals that they gave, a couple different shots, so I was like, oh, I've seen that in animated form before. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. You disagree, Jericho?
Sort of. I don't know. I can see where you're coming from, for sure. Like, it's just hard because the animated series Joker is so much lighter in most ways, and is always all about, like, he just wants to make the joke. Like he doesn't like
this one was more focused.
Yeah, he definitely was way more like if Harley got kidnapped and had a bomb implanted in her, he would think it was really funny and would like want to tease her about it.
That's true.
Is what Mark Hamill Joker would do. Not, but I mean that's a cool change, but it just doesn't vibe with that for me. But in a lot of ways, I do agree with you. Like the way he talks and like Iceman said, some of the visuals, like a few times were on purpose, were like obvious and deliberate homages, which I thought were really cool.
Yeah.
But some were not so obvious.
Like some of his outfits and everything.
Yeah.
That could have absolutely been right out of the animated series. It was awesome.
I guess I should say he was more like Mark Hamill's Joker than any other movie Joker we've seen before.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, and you're right, he would, like, this movie really put Joker and Harley in a much healthier relationship, as much as two characters like that could have, than any other version, which I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it was really cool to see. Like, usually Joker's very abusive, if not, like, in a very literal way, he's at least emotionally abusive or neglecting or something. But this one didn't seem to do that at all.
Do you guys think though, like this was just kind of a, I was thinking about this last night after it was all said and done. So like this is really just a snapshot of the Joker. We really just got kind of a taste of him in this.
Yeah.
So we're really not seeing their entire relationship. Do you think because of how he is towards Harley in this movie, like it's almost like their relationship together is still the same, but like he's being nice, well not nice, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because it's not him doing it to her. Like I can do whatever I want to her, but
no one else can.
Damn everybody else.
Yeah, that'd definitely be true.
I would say the scene in the nightclub when she was dancing and he's with the other crime boss and like offers her to him, that would corroborate that theory, because he's acting like, well, you can, I'm giving her to you, she's my gift to you.
I thought that was a test.
Well, no, it was, but I'm agreeing with what Iceman said, that it shows that he cares about Harley in as much as it's his property.
Yeah.
So since they're messing with her, they did this to her, they capture her, they're making her do their dirty work, he's not okay with it. But when all that is said and done, it may return to being, the sort of relationship we've seen between the two of them in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, he did some pretty bad stuff to her when they're showing their origin, how they got together.
That's true.
That, to me, was one of the best scenes of the whole movie. So I guess this is sort of getting into spoiler territory now that we've gone over our basic impressions, but he tells her, like, basically to commit to him, she needs to jump into the same pool of chemicals that turn him into the Joker. And it was a really cool shot. Like, she jumps in and then he jumps in after her and they kiss, like, in the pool as, like, all their makeup colors are, like, mixing in the acid. It's just awesome.
That was really neat.
But yeah, so he transforms her as well. That's not typically a part of her origin. It's all just by her choice and her devotion to the Joker, not that she had anything physically happen to her like Joker did. But it's a cool change that I really support. And he also does electroshock therapy on her. So yeah, it's still not, like a healthy relationship to aspire to, but
one of the coolest moments in the whole movie for me was when she referred to him as Mr. J, and I think both of us kind of freaked out. That was special.
There's also a time when they're first showing her, that they show her in her traditional animated series outfit.
Yes.
And that's where the character was first created. And I'm really glad that they weren't afraid to make a lot of nods and allusions to that, because it is so...
Yeah, like with her mallet thing, too, that she had in the scene. That was from the animated series, so that was cool. Other than that, I thought the what's her name?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie. She did a great job at getting across like the almost carefree Harley that we know, but then added a little subtlety and depth to it. Beyond that, like we see her, a huge spoiler. We see her after she sees Joker's plane go down, she thinks he's dead, so she's like mourning him, and then the other characters come up, and she like just changes, you know, back to what she feels like she needs, the mask that she needs to put on, but then you can still see it a little bit beyond, you know.
Yep. Yep, I really like that scene too. I noticed that as well. It's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like it's a front sometimes.
Yeah.
It's nice to see her vulnerable a little bit.
I also thought that one of the weaknesses of the movie was the dialogue. I thought it was pretty hammy and simple and like exactly what you would expect the character to say.
Yeah.
But she did a good job with it. Like her presentation and delivery helped out a lot with some of the like more cringeworthy lines.
Definitely. Yeah, like she knows she's being a little hammy, and she wants to be that because, like I think I was talking to Jericho about this the other day. I feel like a lot of what Harley does and says is exactly what's expected of her. Like she needs to basically be whatever someone who is around her thinks she's going to be. So a lot of what, I feel like that really came true in this. She was expected to be bad and kind of sexy and just, you know, like she was exactly what people were expecting her to do. So that was cool.
I agree.
Another member of the cast that I thought was really a standout was Will Smith, and in a lot of ways it was just Will Smith playing himself with guns, but it was cool and it worked with the story.
Yeah, definitely.
I really liked he had a lot of Deadshot's classic, you know, attributes and abilities and skills. Like, and he had the same red targeting thing that Deadshot always has over his eye. And the first assassination we see him do, he like banks his bullet off of a bunch of things like Deadshot's known to do in the comics. So that was all really cool to see. I really like it when they're true. As much as I enjoy, you know, riffing on or experimenting with source material, I also like when they can just embrace it, because that's what people want to see is classic looks and classic costumes sometimes, because that's the whole point of using a source material, I think, is for people that love it to appreciate it in a new way, or I mean, besides to bring in new fans, of course. But
and it's kind of cool that a lot of these characters is the first time they've been portrayed on film.
Yeah.
So like they didn't have to change them a whole lot, you know?
Right.
True.
Yeah, of the main cast, only Joker has ever really been in a movie before. Harley Quinn never has. Deadshot never has. Croc never has. I can't think of anybody else.
Croc was cool. I love that they stuck with the Louisiana accent for him.
Yeah.
And the animations for him were pretty cool. Like, I tend to have a certain image in mind for him, and this was different, but it really worked. And like when he was swimming and everything, it was very crocodilian, and he has like that shine on his eyes when he's in the dark, like real crocs do. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was such a little thing, but it was one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. When he first goes into the water, he shuffles in on all fours just like a crocodile would. It was just like, it's so simple. They could have just had him jump in or run in or whatever, but no, they decided to do it in, like, to me, just the perfect best way.
And while he's actually physically swimming, he does the same thing, like that kind of shark-like movement side to side that crocodiles do. He did that, and that was really cool.
Y-wing tracking signal initialized.
I also liked that it was kind of a subtle thing, but like right near the beginning when they're getting ready to go in, everybody's getting their gear and everything, and Croc covers up completely. Like he has the hoodie and like two shirts on, and like he's really trying to hide, and by the end he's shirtless, and like he doesn't care what if people are gonna look at him or not. He's just there to get the job done.
That's cool. I didn't think about that at the time, but that's totally correct.
So the one we were referring to earlier that didn't get a lot of screen time was Slipknot, and played by Adam Beach, who was actually one of my very first crushes ever when I was little baby science entry. and I just feel bad for the guy because he always ends up being like the one that gets killed off, or the one that ends up being a bad guy, something like that. So it kind of makes me a little frustrated.
Yeah, so in this, to prove that the collars really will explode, or not collars, the bombs in their necks really will explode and kill them if they put a toe out of line. And basically the first scene of them as a team, Slipknot decides to try to escape, so they just blow him up and kill him. I don't even think he has a single line of dialogue, besides just agreeing to try to run away.
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember when that happened, and then I had totally forgotten after a while, and I was reading about the movie on Wikipedia, and I was like, wait, Slipknot was in the group too? And I was like, oh, he must have been the guys they killed immediately without him getting to do literally anything at all.
He doesn't even get an origin. He just shows up there like, oh yeah, Slipknot, the man that can climb anything. And then he tries to run away and gets killed. So I would have had them do that differently.
Yeah.
Because I think that was definitely a missed opportunity.
Maybe have like an intro video for him like they did for everybody else.
Yeah.
Because they did, there were a lot of similar beats in the animated movie Assault on Arkham, which is also really, really, really good. It has mostly the same team. But in that one, they do have a whole intro. I think it's KG Beast that they just kill right away. But he, like, you wouldn't expect it because he has just as much of intro time as everybody else.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden he just did.
So I feel like that would have played better. Like we would have, you know, like, oh crap, this is serious. A little bit more if we actually knew anything about him. And yeah, like Iceman said, he forgot about it. Like I probably would have too if it weren't at a beach.
Like, he ended up having some funny lines and stuff, but I think it would have been more effective to just do that to Boomerang and not have Slipknot in it at all, because Deadshot and Harley provided enough comedy. I feel that they wouldn't have missed the presence of Boomerang.
Yeah.
But like I said,
you know, I keep thinking about Boomerang being comedic relief, like, everybody knows our feelings on comedic relief only characters. But was he really even needed?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
The whole movie was funny.
His whole joke was basically the pink unicorn, like.
Right.
But.
And I missed that completely.
Yeah, we had to.
I thought that was gonna be like something more significant later on. No, that's just what he likes.
Yeah. It just said in his file in the intro thing that pink unicorns, and then he finds one and then he keeps it. So yeah, I guess he was really there also to be the voice of rebellion for the rest of them, because the rest of them were just kind of, okay, you know, don't kill us, we're gonna do it. He was like putting up a fight the whole time. So I guess that's the other connection that character had.
I liked that it was Flash that brought him in his intro video, though, because Captain Boomerang is indeed a traditional Flash enemy, so that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Once again, a cool tie to the original source material that they didn't have to do, but I'm happy that they did.
Oh, and Amanda, we haven't talked about her yet.
Yes, Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, was really, really, really awesome. She needs to be the Nick Fury of the DCEU because she did a great job.
She was perfect.
She had a lot of presence and a lot of character, and she survived the movie, so there's no reason why she shouldn't continue to be a major player in movies going forward.
And she's already got like all the villains' respect and everything. Like she's definitely, she's got exactly what it takes to be that character.
So basically, Amanda Waller is in charge of Task Force X, the Suicide Squad. She's the one that gets them all together, as you've seen probably in the trailers and such like that. But yeah, she definitely was another. She, Will Smith and Margot Robbie, I thought were the highlights, and Jared Leto as well.
Yeah.
Her character's a jerk. I hate her.
Yeah, she's mean.
Yeah, she's awful, but she's great.
I hate her.
I hate her.
I wanted her to die.
No, we need her. She's important.
No, I have to hate her more.
But you hate her for like the right reasons, though. Like you hate her because she's awful.
But she's mean.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And, she had a scene with Bruce Wayne, which I didn't know was going to happen in this, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so Bruce Wayne and Batman all have a few scenes. That's the mid-credits stinger, is basically Bruce Wayne gets information from her because she's already been tracking all the metahumans, and it's so he can track down Flash and Cyborg and Aquaman and those guys for Justice League. So I thought that was a really cool setup. But Batman also is in the movie earlier, pestering Deadshot and Joker and Harley Quinn. And I thought he was used to a perfect amount. It was really cool to see him, and I liked seeing him from the villain's eyes and be like, oh, it's the Batman, no!
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded him being in it a little bit more, but I think it would have just become a Batman story. And as much as I want, you know, all the Batman I can get, this was fine on its own 2 feet.
Yeah, I feel like one more scene might have been a little much, a little heavy-handed. So I think that was the perfect amount.
Oh.
And we got to see a little bit more of Ben Affleck as Batman, which is nice because I feel like Batman vs. Superman was so Superman-centered. I didn't really get a good sense of him yet.
Mm-hmm. I'm all the more looking forward to the solo Batman movie now.
Yeah.
Bomber locked in.
Especially if Jared Leto and Margot Robbie are in it.
Yes.
Yes.
And
As is hinted, the last line of the movie is Joker telling Harley that they're gonna go home, so...
now, I read something...
Home to Gotham, New Jersey!
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I read something online. They might be doing a movie of just the Gotham villainess. Is that true, or are they thinking about it?
They rumored that for a while. It's called, there's been a long-running comic series about the Gotham villainesses teaming up. I think it's called Birds of Prey.
Okay.
But I could be... Birds of Prey is definitely a comic, but it may or may not be the one that what I'm referencing.
Like Gotham Sirens, but I think that's just Harley and
Ivy
and Catwoman, right?
I think so. I don't know. That actually might be the one I was thinking of. Or I don't know. But yes, they are talking about it, and they're also talking about a Harley Quinn spinoff.
I would love that. I would love that so much if they did. Like a lot of those girls are really overlooked, and I would love to see them team up. That would be cool.
As long as they get equally good casting for the others as they did for Harley.
Yeah.
Because they're tough roles to pull off effectively.
Right.
But they can just study the blueprint of how Margot Robbie did in this one, and I think they'll be successful because I would say she is one of the parts that was the most pleasantly surprising.
Yeah.
Her
she
and
really
Joker.
did research apparently.
Yeah, I get that impression for sure.
That was great.
So, all in all, to sum up, to me it was a lot. It had some similar feelings to Guardians of the Galaxy.
We do need to say though that it's probably not good for kids. Like it's definitely no Deadpool, but there are some like the dancing scene and everything that I would be parents should view it first before they,
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, I would agree with that. The violence wasn't actually too bad though,
Yeah,
less than I thought it would be. So yeah, I would say more for sexuality than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had the same sort of vibe as Guardians of the Galaxy in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I thought it really worked. Like I said a few times, I was pleasantly surprised. It was way better than I thought it was. And I hope that the future DCEU movies follow in this one's example because it was a success.
Yeah, definitely.
And I would even go so far as to say that besides Civil War, it's probably my favorite movie of the year so far. But I'm probably forgetting something. But that's how I feel as of just having seen it.
Yeah, same here. I think I might have enjoyed it a little more than Civil War.
No.
Yeah, maybe not.
No.
I probably need to watch Civil War again.
Yeah.
And this is just so new, like it's exciting, but
It's easily my favorite movie of the year thus far.
Oh boy.
Easily. But I'm barely more than a casual fan of Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like I enjoy it, but I don't go nuts over it.
Oh my god.
I do, but I mean, I guess part of it is we've had so many Marvel that this is so different.
It's
exciting.
It's just cool to see the DC universe coming together and like them able to have background stuff and building scenes like the Amanda Waller and Bruce Wayne.
And it's cool to get a movie of all villains and have them humanized.
Yeah, they already have a lot more relatable, interesting villains than Marvel does.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always been the strength for DC for me, is the villains.
Yeah, in general. And the Marvel Cinematic Universe has proven that that's its weakness, is making compelling villains that'll actually stick around for more than one movie.
Right.
So yeah, all in all, I would definitely check it out. Pleasantly surprised, and I would say totally...
Ooh, let's talk about Enchantress real quick.
Oh yeah, we completely skipped her.
Oh
The main villain of the movie.
Yeah, and she was awesome. Like,
I loved Enchantress.
Yeah. Okay, so like the first time we see her really, like transform into Enchantress, Dr. June, like has her hand on the table, and she calls for Enchantress, and you see like this black shadow hand come up from under the table and like grab her hand, like holding hands, and then she transforms, and that was so cool.
It was an awesome moment.
Like the whole way they filmed her was like a horror movie, and it was awesome. And the effects for her, she had like these smoky embers always like floating around her, and her hair was like the perfect way to be just creepy but kind of sultry. It was awesome.
The only negative I have about her is, so basically she's controlled because Amanda Waller has her heart like Davy Jones, so she has to do what she says. But the Enchantress is able to call upon her brother and is able to get free, and he sort of powers her up, and then she looks different. She basically looks like, what's her name, Kara, the Evangeline, Delevingne. And the CGI for her, while she looks like that, is really bad. It looks like they blew the budget on everything else.
Yeah.
But it looks really, really bad. So that was kind of disappointing. But she was still an awesome character and a compelling villain to the villains. And I like that she was just so evil and powerful that even when they reached the point in the movie that they could all just cut and run and just be free and escape, they're like, well, no, we have to stop her. This we can't.
And why when she was powered up, why was she like constantly doing a samba?
Because that's it's magic.
Okay.
Why aren't you constantly doing a samba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
So.
Yeah, I didn't like powered up Enchantress, but before that and after that, she was really good.
I'd be down for just a. I mean, I guess this movie really made it so that maybe it could be a prequel, just a Dr. June movie. Her having to be Enchantress half the time, going off and finding treasures in the jungle.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Then being a spooky monster.
Being a creepy jungle monster.
Dr. June, medicine woman.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
So yeah, sorry that we almost tried to skip the main character, but it's a cool movie. I really liked it.
Yeah.
We all liked it. You should go see it. You guys have any closing thoughts before we wrap up here?
Nope, just go see it.
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you to Science Century and Iceman for joining me. Make sure you subscribe to the Full Instance channel so you got new content like this every Tuesday and Thursday. You have your war stories, but there's something every single day at the Full Instance channel. My name has been Jericho, and thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know about you guys, but we're full.